My dear children, very pleasant and cheerful morning to all. Welcome back to Geography Lesson 3, our Changing Earth Part 3. In our previous class, we studied about the lithospheric plates, endogenic and exogenic forces, volcanoes and earthquakes. We will discuss about the major landforms of the earth and how the process of erosion and deposition create different landforms on the surface of the earth in today's class. Dear children, tell me now, what do you mean by land? Yes, the part of the earth's surface that is not covered by water is called land. Very good. Dear children, what is the meaning of landforms? Yes, good. Landform is a natural feature of the earth's surface. Okay. Children, what is an example of a landform? Examples of landforms include oceans, rivers, valleys, plateaus, mountains, plains, hills, and glaciers. How do landforms affect people's lives? The earth has many landforms such as plains, valleys, and mountains. Erosion helps change the shape of landforms. Landforms affect where people build houses and communities. Many people live on plains because it is easy to travel and to farm on flat land. Can you understand? Landscapes are the natural visible features on the surface of the earth. Landforms make up a landscape. Okay. So, the landscape is being continuously worn away or washed out by two processes, that is weathering and erosion. Children, what does weathering mean? Weathering is breaking down rocks, soil and minerals as well as wood and artificial materials by contacting the atmosphere, water and biological organisms of the earth. Weathering is the breaking up of the rocks on the earth's surface. Okay. Erosion. Erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind and ice. The eroded materials are carried away or transported by water, wind, etc. and finally deposited. This process of erosion and deposition create different landforms on the surface of the earth. Okay. Dear children, let us start by talking about what do you know so far about rivers. Children, can you begin? Tell me one thing you know about rivers. Yes, that's right. A river has its source in the mountainous areas. Okay, tell me now, what do you call the source of a river? The place where a river begins is called its source. Okay? Tell me children, do rivers start in mountains? A river may begin in mountains where there is snow. The melting snow runs together to form a small stream that runs down the mountains. Okay. A river may begin in mountains where there is snow. The melting snow runs together to form a small stream that runs down the mountain. As more little streams run in, the main stream gets bigger until it forms a river. Some rivers flow from hills where there is no snow but lots of rain. Children, can you tell me more about rivers? A river is a flowing, moving stream of water. Usually, a river feeds water into an ocean, lake, pond, or even another river. Water from a river can come from rain, melting snow, lakes, ponds, or even glaciers. Rivers flow downhill from their source. They are considered part of the freshwater biome. Okay, good. That's an interesting description, children. What is called mouth of the river? The place where a river enters a lake. The place where a river enters a lake, larger river, or the ocean is called its mouth. The river mouth is where much of gravel, sand, silt and clay called alluvium is deposited. When large amounts of alluvium are deposited at the mouth of the river, the delta is formed. Do you understand? Okay. What happens at the mouth of the river? The mouth of a river is where it meets the sea, lake or larger waterway and ends its journey. Deposition often happens where a river channel enters the still water of a lake or the sea. If sediments deposited faster than it is carried away, it builds up and forms a raised area called a delta. Okay. The river performs three types of functions. They are erosion, transportation and deposition. Erosion is wearing away the soil and rocks. This puts lots of sand, mud, pebbles and silt into the river. Transport means moving material. The force of the flowing water moves the mud, sand, pebbles and silt created by erosion. Deposition means dumping material. The sand, mud, pebbles and silt being transported by the river is eventually dropped. This process of erosion, transportation and deposition are directly linked to how much energy a river has. The amount of energy depends on how much water there is and how fast it is flowing. Can you understand, children? The path followed by a river during the journey from its source to its mouth is called the course of the river. The course of a river may be divided into three sections. They are upper, middle and lower. All rivers have an upper, middle and lower course. Course means the path followed by a river during the journey from its source to its mouth is called the course of the river. The course of a river may be divided into three sections. They are upper, middle and lower. All rivers have an upper, middle and lower course. Okay, now tell me children, what are the three stages of a river? Yes, nearly all rivers have an upper, middle and lower course. This young river is known as the upper course. Middle-aged river is known as the middle course. Old river is known as the lower course. Okay? Okay. The young stage. In the young stage, the river is usually small and flows down steep slopes with lots of energy. The features found in the youthful stage of a river are all formed by the process of erosion. Can you understand? Okay. Repeating again, children. A river has its source in the mountainous areas. Henceforth, the river moves down the slope in a valley. Generally, the river falls into a large water body such as a sea, ocean or lake. The place where the river joins another water body is called the mouth. The path followed by a river during its journey from its source to its mouth is called the course of the river. The area drained by the river and its tributaries is called a river basin. Understand? The work of a river varies from place to place depending on the volume of water and speed of river, the slope of river bed and type of rocks. The running water in the river carries out its work in three ways. First one, it erodes the rocks over which it flows. Second one, it transports the eroded materials. Next, it deposits the materials which it has transported. Can you understand? The river flows in the mountains, which is the upper course of a river. It cuts out into a softer rocks forming V-shaped valleys. Look at the picture carefully. In the upper course, there is mainly erosion and transportation of sediments and almost no deposition at all. The river will erode downwards in its youthful stage. This is called vertical erosion. See here. Okay. This leaves steep side which are exposed to weathering, which in turn loosens and finally breaks up the rock and soil. This loose material will then fall into the river and be transported downstream. The result is valley with steep sides and very narrow flows, which is like V. Can you see this V shape? Okay. Okay. Next, a waterfall is formed when the river suddenly drops in elevation over hard rocks or down a steep valley. It is important because it can be used to generate hydroelectricity. The steep sloping segment of the swift flowing river is called a rapid. Waterfalls are found where there are different types of bedrock, where soft and hard rock lie side by side. While the river is able to erode the soft rock, it is unable to erode the hard rock. As a result of this, a difference in height begins to form and a waterfall is created as the water drops from one level to the other. The force of the water and the debris carried by the river down the slope creates what is known as a plunge pool at the base of the waterfall. The Jog Falls, about 253 meters on the Sharavati river in Karnataka, is the highest waterfall in India. The highest waterfall in the world is the Angel Falls, that is 979 meters in Venezuela in South America. Okay, can you understand this? As the river enters the plain, it twists and turns, forming large bends known as meanders. Yes. The speed of the river decreases when the river reaches the plains. The floor of the river valley widens due to continuous erosion along its banks. The river takes a zigzag path and turns to form a large bends on loops. These are all called meanders. See the zigzag path. Okay. And it turns to form a large bends or loops. These are all called meanders. Now the river erodes, transports and deposits the sediments. Dear children, due to continuous erosion and deposition, the meandering loops become almost circular and come very close to one another. See here, meandering loops almost circular and come very close to one another. In due course of time, the river is able to cut the strip of land between between the two loops and take a straight course. Okay, it will take a straight course. The circular loop that is left behind completely cut off from the sea here. The circular loop that is left behind completely cut off from the main channel. Can you see? Look at the picture. Can you able to find that? The circular loop that is left behind, completely cut off from the main channel, forms an oxbow lake. Hope you can see the U-shaped body of water formed. Okay? Okay, very good. During the rains, the river generally overflows its banks. The fine alluvial soil brought by the river is deposited on the valley floor. This fertile part is called floodplain. The coarse materials deposited close to the river form a long and low wall along the bank called a natural levee. The raised banks, see the picture, next picture. Look at the picture carefully. The raised banks are called, see these raised banks, both the sides. These raised banks are called levees. As the river approaches the sea, the speed of the flowing water decreases and the river begins to break up into a number of streams called distributaries. The river becomes so slow that it begins to deposit its load. Each distributary forms its own mouth. See here. Each distributary forms its own mouth. The collection of sediments. Okay. The collection of sediments from all the mouth forms a delta. Dear children, when the river reaches its mouth, it carries a large volume of water and alluvium. The excess load is deposited as sandbars in the wide river channel. This divides the main channel into several channels which are called distributaries. In this stage, triangle shaped land is formed. See this. Triangle shaped land is formed between the distributaries due to deposition of sediments. This is called a delta. Is it clear? When the river reaches its mouth, it carries a large volume of water and alluvium. The excess load is deposited as sandbars in the wide range channel. This divides the main channel into several channels which are called distributaries. In this stage, triangular shaped land is formed between the distributaries due to deposition of sediment. This is called a delta. Delta is a Greek letter. You know, triangle, delta was first used by the Greek historian for the triangular depositional land on the mouth of the Nile river. Okay. The Ganga-Brahmaputra delta is the largest delta in the world. Some rivers reach the sea through the funnel-shaped estuaries. Estuary means E-S-T-U-A-R-Y. Estuary means the wide part of river where it joins the sea. Okay. In India, Narmada and Tapi rivers form estuaries. Okay. Is it clear? So that various landforms of the earth such as green forests, mountains, plains, plateaus, valleys are formed by endogenic forces originating in the interior of the earth. On the other hand, due to exogenic forces, the earth's surface is being continuously leveled. The leveling of the earth's surface by natural process is called gradation, which is caused by various exogenic forces including running water, moving ice, wind, sea waves, etc. These forces which act on the surface of the earth and brings about gradual changes to the landforms are called the agents of gradation. Okay. Um, Next one is we discussed about weathering and erosion. Then we discussed about working of running water. That is river. About river, various stages of river. In young stage, the river is usually small and flows down steep slopes with lots of energy. So the V-shaped valley is formed, waterfalls are found. Then in mature stage of a river, the slope becomes gentler and the river becomes much wider as it joined by many tributaries. The river is also carrying a load now that has been eroded from further upstream. Okay, so the meanders are formed. Next, in the old stage, at the old stage, the river is usually at its widest. The land is also at its flattest. This means that the river has to work very hard to make its way to the sea. The main agents at work now is deposition. Okay, so the oxbow lakes are formed, floodplains are almost flat plains of land which lie at the sides of the river that are in their old stage. Okay, levees are formed. Levees are long narrow ridge of alluvium which are found along the banks of many old rivers. They are formed as a result of flooding. Each time the river floods, it will carry its load out to the floodplains as it has a great deal of energy. However, when the flood subsides, it does not have the energy to carry the load back into the channel and it so deposits it. After numerous flooding, these deposits build up to form levees. Okay, so in old stage, deltas are formed. Delta is a triangular area of land which has been formed by a river depositing its load as it enters the sea or lake. A delta will only form if a river has been carrying a large load of alluvium and the alluvium is being dropped off at a faster rate than the tides currents can carry it away. Okay, the streams that a river divides up into make its way around the deposited materials are called distributaries. Okay, I hope all could have understood the today's topics. If there is any doubt, you can text me your doubts to my WhatsApp number. I am sending you a question paper later to today's topics, complete and sent to my personal WhatsApp number. Dear children, please read pages textbook 15 to 17 for homework. Okay? The lesson is over for today. Have a good day, children. See you next week. Stay home, stay safe, and stay blessed. Thank you.